My name is Anthony, and I'll be drawing for you. Hey, Planet Earth, we meet again. Welcome to Anthony Draws For You, the channel where no idea is too crazy. So what's going on with you? What's good? I got a question for you. I have been watching a lot of 90s sitcoms lately, and as awesome as that is, I have not been learning much. I need to flex the brain a little bit. Good, interesting documentaries. I need them. Preferably anything about ancient civilizations. The last good one I saw, I think, was called Mankind. Yeah, Mankind, the Story of Us. Absolutely fascinating overview, like the Cliff Notes version of how we got from painting on cave walls to playing with our cell phones. Yeah, there's a big gap of time in between there, but they hit a surprising amount of detail for how big a task it is. It's also voiced by Josh Brolin, so it was very odd to hear Thanos narrate like the direction of mankind's history. But yeah, if you guys have any recommendations, put them in the comment section below. I am in desperate need. Anyway, on to business. For those of you who are new to the channel, let me give you a quick recap of what's been going on. I recently got the biggest commission that I've gotten so far, 8. Zombified Disney princesses. This comes from a client who grew up loving the Disney princesses, but has also, over the years, developed a taste for blood. Yeah, I actually don't know about that part. I'm just being dramatic and theatrical. Anyway, this video is part 2 in the series of zombie Disney princesses. And if you haven't seen the first video yet, click the link in the description below. The first video I did Belle and Sebastian. Wait, what? No, Belle and Jasmine. Sorry, I was listening to Belle and Sebastian on my Spotify earlier today. That's what that came from. Which reminds me, I'm also taking Spotify requests. If you got a good recommendation, leave a comment.
My ears are hungry for good music.
In today's video, numero dos in the series, we're going to be drawing Cinderella and we're going to be drawing Mulan. Although Mulan isn't technically a princess, but she is nonetheless an iconic female Disney character, and she was on the list of characters given to me by my client with the instructions to eviscerate, maim, and destroy. Destroy and zombify we shall in this video. So what do you say we get right down to business? But before we begin, I need 2 clicks from your mouse. 1 goes on the like button, and 1 goes on the subscribe button. Yes right now. Come on, push the button, you know you want to. So without further ado, let's eviscerate Cinderella. Okay, we're gonna have to modify an old saying for this one. I'd say this one was 5th time's a charm. You heard me correctly, I drew this thing like 5 times. And you might even see hints of it in the early pencil stages. I tend to get carried away with details. I love to put Easter eggs everywhere, basically. And when I was coming up with ideas for this one, I had just one ingredient after the other just went right into the stew. So much so that all the little Easter eggs I was putting in overtook the main character. Alright, so here's what happened. I'll come clean. So I'm drawing Cinderella, and I figured the most iconic part, you know, the part that pretty much serves as the crux for the whole movie, losing the slipper. And I thought the most appropriate zombification of this would be for her to not only lose the shoe, but the foot that was in it too. So I had Cinderella down. So that was it. I had my plan for the main character. And as for the setting, obviously it had to be on the stairs, but I noticed that, okay, in the background there's going to be room for the coachman. And just what kind of a coachman would be involved in a zombie Cinderella? Why, a roach coach, of course. So for those of you who don't know, roach coach is like a slang term for a food truck, which ties in quite nicely to the topic at hand, if you ask me. I figured it was a layup. Instead of a coach, like a horse and carriage, I figured I'd straight up make it like a whole grease truck, but have it being driven by a gigantic cockroach. And what is the cockroach cooking up and serving for the customers? Why, dead Disney princesses, of course. Oh, I got so carried away with that. I did the truck, I did the roach chef/driver. I even put like the menu on the front. I had like a plate of fingers, like literal fingers. Eyeballs $2, noses $1.50, 25 cents extra for boogers. I was gonna put like a tip jar out on the counter. So by the time I was done with the pencils, I looked at it and I'm like, okay, this is all about the roach. This is not about Cinderella at all. I got rid of the food truck, but I still kept the roach for a much, much, much more subtle pun, because at the end of the day, this is about Cinderella and how the fairy godmother is as magical as she is strict with curfews. Like, seriously, fairy godmother, you couldn't have given her like 5 extra minutes to get her stuff together? And that's actually another thing I'm wondering. Okay, so here's my, like, crazy film theory about this. So as the story goes, fairy godmother dolls Cinderella all up. She gets her out of those dirty rags and makes her nice squeaky clean. She sets her up with the whole shebang-a-bang. Sends her off to the ball. But before Cinderella leaves, the fairy godmother warns her. She says, hey, you better get your butt back home by midnight or else. The magic wears off. That's the deal. And it's like, why is that the deal exactly? Like, why does she have to be home? I thought the whole point was to get her out. But either way, midnight comes, the spell wears off. But here's the part that doesn't make sense. Carrot turns back into a pumpkin, Coachman turns back into a horse, horses all turn back into mice. And that's another point to consider. Before all of this, when Cinderella is like living with her evil stepmother and she's doing the chores and everything, she's got all these animals helping her out around the house with the chores. Why are the mice the only ones that she can talk to? I mean, I guess she talks to the other ones, but like, the mice are the only ones where like they talk and she answers. Hit me with your craziest fan theory about why that is. Quickly, fans, in the comment section. Yeah, anyway, so all the stuff goes back to normal, except for one thing. Well, two things, really. The glass slippers. Why are those separate? Fairy Godmother, your story is full of holes, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. We need Joe Rogan. There's a conspiracy going on here, and the public deserves to know the truth. Hashtag Fairy Godmother Gate. What the hell? Oh my god, my neighbors must think I am insane, and they would be sorta right. But hey man, crazy is what pays the bills at my place. Alright, on to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Please welcome to the stage, Mulan. Alright, so let's come up with some... I just came from my computer. I was just using digital right now, and I came to my sketch pad with my stylus, my pen from the digital tablet. Okay, let's try that again. Dude, I don't care who you are. Mulan is an awesome character. I love how you can sort of like tell that, I guess, what was this, 98 this movie was made? Like 97, 98? No, Hercules was 97, this was 98. But anyway, like at this time, it was almost like Disney figured out, okay, so the girls liked Aladdin, the girls liked Hercules. And like, I'm talking about the characters, not just the movies. Turns out there are girls who like being the heroes, and not just the damsel in distress. You don't have to necessarily be male to fulfill the hero's journey. I remember being a kid, and it was like, whenever it was like a female-centric story, I remember being a kid and thinking like, oh, those toys are for girls. And then in 98, Disney was like, oh, I see you like Ninja Turtles. Bada bing, we got a movie about a girl who uses all their weapons. Checkmate, gender roles. Oh, speaking of roles, I gotta put some stuff in the oven. I gotta get dinner started. So I hope you guys have enjoyed these two zombie Disney monstrosities. This has been part 2 of the series, and I had the previous video before this which also featured the other two. I had Belle and Jasmine. So that brings us to 4 so far. So 4 down and 4 to go. So stay tuned and be on the lookout for the next 2 videos and find out who the other 4 Disney characters are that we're going to be both killing off and bringing back from the grave. Also, go to Instagram right now. Scroll into the description below, hit the link for my Instagram, hit the link for my Facebook. I post all of my artwork that you see on this channel, and I also post gems from the past, and I also post stuff in between. So if the Monday, Wednesday, Friday video schedule is not enough for you, this video may be over, but you can hit me up on Instagram and Facebook and follow me there to keep the party going so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for tuning in, Planet Earth. I'll see you next time.